Hi there. Thanks for stopping by Cheaters Digest. Leave in the comments what part of the world you're tuning in from. Let's get to it. I discovered my wife, 28, female of 7 years, is cheating on me. 30 male, she doesn't know that I know. Update 3. I got an ST. I tested a couple of weeks ago. It's negative, but my doctor gave me the HPV vaccine because it wouldn't be detected by the tests. He said it could take years to show up if I've been exposed. So he told me to check my dick for warts for the next several years. So, good news, I have a new hobby now. It turns out that, in my state, you can't record someone one-sidedly unless you are involved in the conversation. So the conversations between Emily and Bev and Emily and John are illegal, and I broke the law. Since I have attorney-client privilege, and she's the only one I sent them to, I'm good. But I have to delete them. The emails I downloaded are still evidence, though, so we have good evidence there. I suppose the recordings served their purpose in that I know for sure about the affair. On the advice of my attorney, I hired the PI she suggested. I gave him the info for the GPS tracker on Emily's car. He said that after hearing my story, including details I didn't share here, he decided he was going to follow John rather than my wife. It didn't make sense to me at the time, but he said that it sounded like John was more into my wife than she was with him. So John would probably be the one initiating contact rather than Emily. I figured, oh, well, he's the pro, not me. He assured me that he's seen cases like mine before where the spouse was not serious, but just looking for some fun on the side. And because of the withholding of attention, it caused the AP to double down on the relationship and pursue more. He said women don't like needy men, and men don't like needy mistresses. Makes sense. On the sage advice of all of you, and my lawyer, I stopped having sex with Emily. I told her layoffs were coming at work, and I was anxious and not in the mood. I don't know why, but she seemed frustrated by that. It's been difficult living with her and pretending. John and I get the same treatment. Well, I guess he got slightly better treatment for a while. But I'm the lucky one because I get to hear the sound, "I love you" bounce off of my eardrums from that hole in the middle of her face, and John doesn't. #blessed. It used to mean so much to me to hear that. I'm so goddamn angry that she's made me hate her like this. I want to love her again so badly. My therapist says the technical term is ambivalence. Thinking about it makes me want to vomit. Valentine's Day. The PI said John left flowers and a gift at my wife's salon. The PI said when Emily came to work and saw it, she threw everything in the shared dumpster in the strip mall without even looking at it. She was pissed. I retrieved the gifts. It was really expensive lingerie and a dozen red roses. The gift had a Valentine's Day card, the flowers had a message note too, and there was definite proof in that note and card of the affair. They were practically love letters. Emily left the other girls at the salon and went to meet up with John. I got it all. They met in a far corner of a hotel parking lot. The whole thing took around 45 minutes. It was an intense conversation. The PI said Emily seemed angry and shook her head a lot. He said he thought John was trying to coax her into a room with lots of touching. Nothing overtly sexual happened, but the PI said he's seen cases one with less, and that their body language, behavior, and the way it panned out is the kind of thing judges look for in adultery cases. It was obvious that they had a relationship. It was at that time that I got a weird "I love you" phone call from Emily. I remember her voice was off. It was like she was trying to check in on me. My attorney advised me to photos of Emily's appointment book for the last year or so. Emily likes using a physical calendar book to write everything down. I noticed there are appointments with John in the book too. Before, I would have just thought of them as business meetings because Emily said John was mentoring her in small business stuff. I found a Mont Blanc pen in her purse near the appointment book. I guess that's another gift from John because I sure as hell didn't buy it for her, and she always just used BIC pens before. Emily was busy with work the rest of the day and night on Valentine's Day, as she had a bunch of ladies who wanted to get specially made up for Valentine's Day dates with their spouses' boyfriends. Anyway, she worked as usual on Valentine's Day. She came home tired, half-heartedly tried to initiate something, but I just pampered her because she seemed exhausted, and so I put her to bed. I didn't pamper her for her sake. I did it for me. I wanted to be a good husband, so she'd somehow miss me more when I was gone. I wanted to prove to myself that I'm not worth cheating on. Does that make sense? Maybe I'm love-bombing her in return in my own way. Is this the pick-me dance? Because I don't want her to pick me. I can't decide if I'm doing it so that it hurts her more when I'm gone, or because I know I'll miss moments like these when I leave her for the last time. The good news in this zombie shit show that my marriage has become is that the parking lot meeting and the Valentine's Day gifts were enough that when added to the other evidence, we can finally have Emily served. We're going to have it done privately with the PI. He's also a process server and can get it done quickly. It was probably a mistake accusing her of cheating on New Year's Eve. Emily knows that something's wrong. She's staring at me a lot. I can see it in my peripheral vision. It would be creepy if it weren't so pitiful. She keeps asking for some kind of reassurance that we're doing good since we're not making love anymore. I keep lying to her, but I guess I'm not the great Shakespearean actor I thought I was. I just can't get over this betrayal. I wish I could, but I can't and I never will. It doesn't matter that she didn't love the guy. She had his junk in her and had her mouth on it and came home and kissed me with that mouth for 9 months. I just hate myself for going back to her. I'd further hate myself for treating her badly because of jealousy and resentment. No one deserves to be treated like a convicted felon for the rest of their lives by their spouse. Would any reasonable person want to live like that? Would that be enough for anyone? Should I be resigned to a life of policing Emily and keeping her under lock and key until she resents and hates me later on and probably cheats on me again? Either that, or I'll be an emotionally dead zombie who says, "Yes, dear," while stamping down my emotions and anxiety every time she walks out the front door. Who would love someone like that? I'm not going to live like that. I love who I thought she was too much to let her live like that. That's why I'm going to ghost Emily when she gets served. The plan is to have her publicly served, to start the process of having John's credit card statements subpoenaed. Lawyer says it could take months for this to pan out. Tell Bev's husband about her complicity in Emily's affair, and to email, text at Emily's dad and sister, John's wife, and some mutual friends with the news. After being served with divorce papers, I'll pack and leave before she regains her footing. I plan on leaving a short note, my lawyer's business card, and my wedding ring. My lawyer told me to leave a note so she doesn't have an excuse to start making trouble. I was thinking about writing, "Do you like rich sugar daddies? Yes or no?" My therapist says I use humor as a coping mechanism. I know I won't do that, though. I'll either write this long manifesto or something super short. Another infidelity poster on here wrote to her cheating, "So, I know, bye." Brevity is the soul of wit. I know myself. I know that Emily at least thinks she loves me, whatever that is. I know she'll beg and plead and cry and appeal to me in every possible way. Our history, our families, our plans, everything. She'll dress up and make herself look stunning. She'll pull out all of the stops and I'll cave. I'm not ghosting her because I'm strong. I'm ghosting her because I'm weak. I used to think it would hurt worse if she had fallen in love with him. But now, that would have been easier. If she didn't want me, at least I'd have my answer. Instead, she wants me. But she's already broken us beyond repair. That's worse. I'll update after it all goes down. Should only be a few days. Okay, we will be looking forward to the next update. Now, the next story is crazy. Let's go. I, 32 female, just found out my husband, 33 male, has been having a effed up affair. Dynamic, whatever it is, it's cheating with the mum of our child's best friend. How do I stay calm before going nuclear? Can't quite believe I'm writing this. And I apologize if some of this is too much for this sub. Right now, I couldn't face telling any of my friends and need help navigating the next 48 hours before I go apeshit. We moved here to be close to a good school for our child. We're in a nice estate with the school being a few minutes walk. Our daughter is 5, and mostly my husband does the school runs and clubs. My work makes this hard for me to do. He works from home 100% of the time. Our daughter's best friend also stays along the road, so mornings. And sometimes they walk together. They also do a few clubs together. We sometimes meet up at soft plays, etc. at weekends, so both my husband and I have the mother's number. She's very pretty, and initially I thought she was quite intimidating, but I and her actually get along well, and we text often. Thought I had made a genuine friend in her. My husband texts her frequently as well, but has never given me a reason to snoop. She's also married, but her husband is in the army and is gone for very long periods. I can count on one hand the number of times I've seen him home in the almost 3 years we've lived here. Just the beginning of this week, the doorbell app went off, and as I knew my husband was home, I never really looked at the notifications, but I accidentally opened the app instead of swiping the notification away. The app opened and I saw him and her leaving our house, which I thought was odd. The next day I paid more attention to this and noticed about 30 minutes before school was due to finish, she just walked up and opened our door. I called him saying I was just bored and what was he up to? He just said trying to quickly finish up some work so he can do the school run. I had a horrible feeling from here. That night I plugged in this little camera we had for the dog when he was a puppy that you can pan across the room. Yesterday, like clockwork, she appeared again and just walked right in. I quickly opened the camera app to see this woman forcibly push him onto the stairs, stand on the stair up above him, pull her trousers down, and rub her arse up and down his face. I wish I was kidding. He wasn't fully forced to do this. He was enthusiastic about the whole thing. But she very much took charge. This was all that happened. I went to my car to watch, and for a solid 20 to 25 minutes, all she did was make him lick her ass. They then composed themselves and left for school like nothing happened. I've never broken down like that in my life. When I got home, I told him I was feeling ill and just going to bed. Skipped dinner, just lay in bed going through every emotion. He eventually came to bed, and I waited until he was asleep, grabbed his phone, and spent hours going through it. The upshot is that there's some sort of domination, sub-dynamic going on, and it's just what I saw them doing. There's not been any PIV sex. He's not allowed to touch anywhere else. Strictly her ass. It's been happening most days at least once, for months. She texts him, telling him she's on her way, and he better be ready. I have, however, seen texts from her saying he will get to fuck her, but that's what he's working toward. What the fuck? How on earth do you start something like that so quickly with someone who has been getting increasingly involved in our lives, through our kids no less? My mind is blown. I'm so hurt, angry, embarrassed, disgusted with him and her. Like, what do I do here? I can't stay with him, but now I need to move away from this area, uproot everything, and move schools, just because these two want to live some weird fantasy. I've just watched her turn up to the house again today. I started to watch the camera in the house, but had to turn it off. I'm so fucking angry. I'm going home to do the same as I did yesterday, and I plan on going nuclear on him tomorrow night or Saturday. That way there's time to plan something for school on Monday. My mind just now is saying, we're done. There's no coming back from this. But what steps can I be taking to ensure I come out better off in this situation? I have a few photos and messages and plan to take lots more tonight. I'm trying to work out how to leave the camera recording tomorrow, but I'm clueless. I don't even know if it has that function. We are in the UK, so if anyone knows the best steps I can take from here, I would greatly appreciate the advice. That was a wild one. Like and subscribe and stay tuned for more updates. Thanks for watching.